Hello and welcome to the WeICTRI Online Academy. Today we're going to be looking at part 2, questions 6 through 10 of the Cambridge Multiple Choice Paper 2-1, Winter 2019. My name is Chris and I'll go through this with you today. So here we are at question 6. So we're looking at red blood cells were placed in pure water. The movement of water across the cell membrane caused a change in their appearance. What caused this change in appearance? Okay, so this question is related to the process of osmosis. Okay, and if you remember about water potential, pure water has a very high water potential. Okay, now if you remember the definition of osmosis, which is the movement of water from an area of high water potential to low water potential down the water potential gradient, then you'll understand this question. So if we put our red blood cell into some water and we have a high water potential outside compared to a low one inside, water will move into the cell. Okay, so if we look at this question, it says direction of water movement. Well, we've already established that it's into the cells, so we can get rid of option C and D. And we know that it goes from a higher to lower water potential, which is here, yes, lower to higher, no, okay. And that means option A is the correct answer here. Just to check, option B, higher to lower, no, that's incorrect. And this is incorrect as well. So that eliminates B for us. Okay, let's move on to question number 7. So some examples of substances moving across membranes are listed. Glucose molecules into the epithelium that lines the small intestine. Well, if we look at how substances enter here in the glucose, it can enter by diffusion, but it can also enter by active transport. Yeah. Okay, so both processes occur for glucose. Nitrates move from a dilute solution to a more concentrated solution in the root hair cells. Now this is an example of active transport as well, okay, because it's going against the concentration gradient. Okay, water molecules from the mesophyll cells into the air spaces of the leaf. Now normally when we refer to water, we refer to osmosis, but as it's being moved as a gas, a water vapor, we refer to this movement as diffusion. Okay. Now, if we look at the question, it says, for which one must oxygen be present for? Well, remember, oxygen is needed for respiration, for aerobic respiration, and that releases energy. That energy is used for active transport. Remember, active transport is the movement of substances from a region of low concentration to high concentration against the concentration gradient, using energy released from respiration and using carrier proteins. Okay, so if we look at this, only option 1 and option 2 actually need energy from aerobic respiration, whereas option 3 is passive. So any option here with the number 3 is incorrect. So A is incorrect, C is incorrect, and D is incorrect. And just to check option 1 and 2, yes, this is the only option that is available here that is correct. Okay. Okay, let's look at number 8, which identifies the chemical elements found in proteins. Now, if you can remember, proteins contain the element carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. You'll learn more about sulfur in A level, but it is one of the elements that make up a protein. Now, if you look here, the options are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Now, if you were able to remember the chemical elements, you should have automatically been able to recognize A as the correct answer. Okay, option B, C, and D all have one of those 4 elements missing. Okay. Question number 9, what is the correct definition for an enzyme? Well, this should be an imprinted answer for you. You should remember that an enzyme is a globular protein that acts as a biological catalyst that does not get used up in the process. Okay, so with that knowledge, we can eliminate option A, which implies it's a carbohydrate. No, enzymes are proteins. Carbohydrates act as substrates. Well, it's nothing to do with carbohydrates. Proteins act as a biological catalyst. Yes, option C is the correct answer. Option D is incorrect, although it refers to proteins that act as a substrate. Remember, proteins can be substrates, but not all substrates are proteins. Okay. However, all enzymes are made of protein. Okay. Moving on to question number 10. Two sealed test tubes containing aquatic plants and hydrogen carbonate indicator were set up. Here's an example of our practical here. It says here the indicator in the sealed test tubes shows the concentration of dissolved carbon dioxide. Okay, so here we have our results of what the indicator will represent. So red is a low CO2 concentration, orange is a medium, and yellow is a high concentration. One of the sealed tubes was kept in the light for 24 hours and the other was kept in the dark for 24 hours. The results are as shown. Okay, so in this case, if you refer back to the information above, red represents a low CO2 concentration and yellow represents a high, or higher, should we say, a high CO2 concentration. Now let's just go through the answer here. Now, photosynthesis and respiration both occur in light, but rate of photosynthesis is higher. Well, this statement is very true. The idea is that photosynthesis happens during the daytime, but respiration happens all the time while the organism is still alive. So here you can see photosynthesis occurs in light, but respiration does not. Well, that statement is false, and we know that respiration happens all the time. Respiration can only occur when photosynthesis is not taking place. Well, this is also false because, they're two separate organelles that carry out this process. Photosynthesis is by chloroplasts and respiration is by mitochondria. The amount of carbon dioxide used and produced in light is equal. Well, this is not true either. The reason for this is if you had 10 units of CO2 produced by, let's say, respiration, and then 10 units used in photosynthesis, then you should end up with the same concentration as you started with, which means the observed end result of the indicator should be kept as orange. Okay? Thank you for watching part 2 of the video, answering questions 6 through 10. In the next video, we'll look at question 11 through 15. Please stay tuned and watch the next video if you would like to know more. Thank you for watching. Take care.